All right, so we got another crop of blackout tattoos today.
Woo.
Exciting.
Very exciting.
There's always more of these coming out.
So this first one is from Theodore. It says, "Hello Remy, I am from Germany. I want to share my tattoo story with you guys. I used to tattoo myself when I was way younger, and I thought it would be a good idea, but it turned out not to be good at all. Then for years I did nothing but complain about how it looked. Finally, I was willing to go to a professional tattoo artist, and now my sleeves are in progress. I like the brutal black project and the style of abstract black work, so I started with 2 3-hour sessions. The first one is on my hand and a little bit blackout downwards, and the second session was on the right arm. In my armpit, the black lines. There was no second layer and no touch-up because it's very painful and good enough for me." I'm with you. I also want to mention that the other tattoos,
I don't find it that bad.
including the blackout on my right arm underneath the fresh black, I did my best, but it is very patchy. Thus, I can confirm that doing a good saturated black is hard to do. Besides, the pentagram in my palm I did by myself. Must be 12 years ago. Thanks for the attention. I appreciate your work.
The black is really not the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, the abstract black is not as awful as the underneath.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But so with the abstract black stuff, there is an appeal to this for people who don't like the pain. Like it has this look like it would be like this awful, like, oh my god, that must hurt. But like, you don't need this to be solid.
No.
The way you need blackout to be solid. No. You know what I mean?
So
like, if you're looking for like an aggressive aesthetic without as much pain as you would get from blackout, these scratchy lines are a lot less painful than the full saturation of blackout.
Yeah.
That being said, I really think it would have been better for all parties if he had have smoothed out the base blackout before he did this, because now he's forever got this kind of washy patch.
Underneath.
Yeah,
you're just gonna either have to fill in the top black better, or
I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
as he said, he's tapped out mentally.
I understand.
Less physically, more mentally, he's tapped out.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely mental. I understand that completely.
Yeah. So I do appreciate these different lightings that he's got here. You can see the effects of light on blackout,
which I think is really surprising sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's the kind of thing where like you can be in a different setting and your arm looks completely different than it does in another setting. You know what I mean?
There was quite a while where we fought with your blackout.
Well, just trying to find the way to photo it when you're trying to advertise like clothing and stuff that brands are selling you, and you want your black to look black, and you've got the sun shining on you and suddenly you look gray.
Yeah, and you'd always be like, I don't look like this in person, do I? And I'm like, no, you don't.
Well, it's a trick, because like you see yourself one way and a photo reveals you another way, right?
I know, it's definitely tricky, but
anyway,
I appreciate all these different lightings as well.
I like that he's at least willing to admit that he's tapped out. But you could use numbing cream. Like, it does work. There are numbing creams that work. There was a guy who comes into the shop here who got his chest lined out and he hated the feeling, and he's just not finishing his chest now. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know why that is. Why not just use the numbing cream then instead?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not necessarily the biggest proponent of that direction. I agree with feeling the pain, and I like to be part of it, but like, if you just want the piece done, this is why we have the numbing cream.
Right.
And I'd rather you have a smooth, nice looking arm than do this like I can't use numbing cream, because there's some people who won't do it. Like if they can't sit for it, they won't. They're not willing to use numbing
I
cream.
also think that there's
It's a weird thing.
Some tattoo artists won't work with numbing cream.
Some of them, but most of them will now.
Yeah, I think
most
the
of them will.
numbing cream is getting better too.
Yeah,
right?
even Rick will do it if necessary, and sometimes he prefers it because some clients can't sit for shit, and he'd rather them be numb.
That hand,
So.
just from this, like, I just switched over to another photo. That hand looks like it's, like, completely different.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and very strange. Like, I don't understand. This is all got to get connected at some point.
I don't know if he's ever going to connect
Like,
it.
it just looks too disjointed. And also, while we're talking about disjointed, the scratches at the fingers, I really feel like you need to bring the black down farther and have it tail into them. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have to extend solid black.
But it'll look better.
But like if you faded the black off into the scratches, that would look way more purposeful, way more intended. The way it is right now, the scratches at the fingers just look like an unintended
mess.
Yeah, mess.
I agree with that.
There's a better way to do that.
I also think like what's happening on the wrist and hand, other than the hand scratches, I think the wrist, the general blackout looks more solid than the other part of the arm.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is quite new, or at least it's healing, or in some stage of healing. Yeah, because like here you see he had what he had before this pass, so this is still healing.
It's a different hand.
No, it's the same. I think it is.
No, it's a different hand.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
He's got
whatever
it on
the
both
case.
arms.
It doesn't matter. Whatever the case, this black is way newer, if not completely fresh. So it's probably not going to stay the same as it is here. But right now it looks quite drastic in how different it is from the rest.
Yeah, well, it's a from what I can see of the old sleeve, it's a huge improvement.
It is, but he needs to continue.
Yeah.
So if you need to use numbing cream and just sort this out, you'll be much happier. And
I think so too. And the thing is the parts of your arm that you're thinking that you're probably skipping because you think they're going to be bad aren't as bad.
It's an arm. It's only like an arm is not that painful. I'm sorry. Like I'm not trying to be elitist, but like it just use the fucking cream, man.
Yeah,
like,
just use the cream.
Like really, there are some spots that suck to get blacked out, but your arm is not really one of them, in my opinion.
No,
I don't know how many times I've done full saturation on my arms.
The only
It's
part of
dozens.
my arm that I absolutely like am dreading re-blacking out is the underneath by the armpit. That's the only part. Everything else,
It's
you
a
hit my
walk in
elbow
the
any
park.
day. Go in my ditch. I don't care.
Anyway, we're moving on here. We got this weird selfie of a piece of black here from a guy who looks like he has 7 chins for some reason.
Yeah, why are we taking a picture like that?
I don't know what
This is
this
awful.
photo is. You know what this is like? It's like those like old dudes that take Facebook profile picture. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like the camera is way down in their lap for some reason.
He accidentally sent it.
I would no, like what I don't understand is like, how is this a photo of a tattoo?
It's not.
Because he's more in frame. But then over here we have a terrible angle as well. Nice sofa though, it looks cozy. This is what we need in our living room, by the way. Our couch is not comfortable enough.
Our couch sucks.
Our couch sucks. This looks much cozier.
It does. Can we talk about this
Is-
weird patch of
Well, I mean,
black? It's just a weird patch of black.
in what world do you do that much black? And then you're done for the day.
I don't know.
This is like smaller than the smallest session I've had with Rick.
Maybe.
You know
He
what I
had
mean?
Something like a swastika.
Like-
or like a 666.
Oh, but nothing else there
Or
is worth
like-
keeping either.
Ku Klux Klan. Or,
It's-
you know what I mean? Like all of the like evil,
'cause-
awful things.
Sure, but whatever the hell else this mess is here is as offensive as whatever.
Well, but like that's the only reason people use those black squares to get rid of stuff is if it's something that's going to offend people and they no longer believe in it.
It's
Do you know what I'm saying? Or maybe it was a naked angel. Now that I'm looking at the wings and he wanted to get rid of the nudity.
I mean, I can only imagine that the intention is for this to continue. I don't think that this is purposeful, that this is the end.
I'm just saying that like people just black square off things. That
I
they
think this is a tap
no
out on
longer
the
wanna
part
deal
of
with.
the artist or the client.
Yeah,
I think it was like, well, this sucks. Let's stop for the day.
maybe.
I think this whole thing is getting blacked out. But I think this might be the smallest recorded blackout session I've ever seen.
I've seen smaller.
I don't think I've ever seen a blackout this small.
Nah, I have like.
I usually see like a ring, like they'll do
I
like
have
the
some
band.
acquaintances that do like an inch at a time.
That's
or
insane.
that have been doing
That
like
is
an inch at a time.
absolutely insane. Because the first 5 to 10 minutes of a tattoo session are the worst.
Yeah. Or
After
like
that, it's downhill.
an inch to 2 inches at a time, going up their arm in different bands.
But like if you're doing blackout, the first 5 minutes is going to be the worst.
Oh yeah.
And that's all it would have taken to do this.
And then probably the last 5 minutes.
Not even. Like once you get going and you have that adrenaline, you don't really feel much.
It's true.
So like
And
if you're
again-
doing blackout this much at a time, you're having the worst experience to do it.
And again, the numbing cream.
Well, yeah, but I would hope he didn't need numbing cream for this.
I don't know. It's kind of in his ditch. I mean, kind of mean of the artist to go straight for the ditch. Start somewhere gentle.
I can't even tell you the amount of OCD I would be in walking around with this square.
I swear, it's probably, now that I see there's a wing, I'm going with it's covering a naked angel.
I don't
and
care.
He was
It's
sick
worse.
Of people seeing the naked angel.
This
on his
is
arm.
worse than anything that he covered with it.
Yeah.
Because now I have a patch on my arm for some reason. And I would be clawing at the door of the studio before they opened to get in there to do something about this.
Yeah. Oh, of course you would.
I can't
You're
imagine walking around with this.
right. Neither could I.
I really can't. Like, I certainly wouldn't be showing it off.
Well, he seems proud of it.
Well, good on you. You've got more balls than I do with this thing on your arm.